I want to have my first Muay Thai fight in Bangkok, and I plan on documenting the entire thing, pretty much going from zero to my first fight. And that's the point of this series. But I have encountered a lot of setbacks. Like, for one, my parents are completely against me fighting.
If you think it could be serious, ask me to call emergency services or someone you
What?
trust.
No, I'm good. And right now I am in New York. I'm back home. So I am miles and miles away from Thailand. But the point of having this series and why I'm releasing this first episode now so late, and I say so late because I actually already started the series. For those who have been watching on Instagram or TikTok or my YouTube shorts, I've already started this series and I've been posting like 60-second reels about this. And we're at, I think, episode 7 now is what I just posted yesterday. And I'm finally making this long form video. And I might do that every 7 videos actually, because I want to really talk through what's going through my mind, what my plans are, and what's really going on. Because you can't get the bigger picture from the 60-second reel. And there is just so much more I want to talk about, because I feel there are a lot of other people who want to go to Thailand and train Muay Thai, maybe have their first competition or just go to get in shape. I want to show you guys exactly what that's like, what the fighting scene is like, what life in Thailand is like, and just really taking you guys through this journey with me. And that is what I plan on documenting. So these aren't going to be like crazy Netflix type episodes, at least not yet. At the early stages, I just really want to share the raw, authentic journey of me going to Thailand, you know, training, what I'm dealing with, and all that comes with it, all the ups and the downs. So that's what this series is for. And if you guys are interested in watching that, be sure to subscribe to the channel, because I will continue this series now that I've made the decision to start it on YouTube. So for this first video, it's pretty much just an introduction, so you guys know what's happening and kind of like why I'm doing it in the first place. I'm gonna split it into 3 parts. The first part is just how I got into Muay Thai. Second is kind of what changed, why I want to fight all of a sudden now. And then third is my plans for the future. So let's jump right in. At the end of 2023 and then going into the beginning of 2024, I took a gap semester. And I was in Thailand at the time. So I was like, let's do Muay Thai. And I did it to get in shape, not to get ready for a fight or do it seriously. I just did it to get in shape. I didn't think much about it. So I just trained. It was pretty off and on. It wasn't something that I did very seriously, maybe like 2 or 3 times a week, honestly. And I think collectively, considering what I did recently, it's been about a year since I have been training now. And I really love it now. But back then, it was just another form of exercise for me. I didn't think there was much beyond it, because when it comes to competing, it's one, it's very dangerous. 2, Bangkok is home to some of the world's greatest fighters. And 3, like the Thais who fight have been fighting their entire life. Like fight culture in Thailand is very different than what it is in the US, or I mean just in the West actually. Like for there, it's nothing so grandiose as like fighting. For them, it's just another paycheck too, because you can get paid for it. So they do full contact, and it's not like you'll train for months and months. Some people will just go in and fight, right? That's not uncommon. And a lot of Thais have been training since 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. So I didn't think I would stand a chance when it came to competing. So I rejected myself before even giving it a chance. And I told myself, yeah, there's no way I could keep up with these guys, so I'm just not even gonna try, right? But here's what changed. I went back recently, a year later, the end of 2024, and at the beginning of 2025. It was for winter break, and I met Tawanchai, who is the current, I think, featherweight world champion for Muay Thai, and he is incredible. He's amazing. and I trained at the gym he trains at, and there's a bunch of other very talented fighters, and that made this sort of switch flip in me. And I thought that I could be doing more with Muay Thai, that I could take my training more seriously and actually test myself. Just being in that environment, in that gym where everyone else is so good, it really just pushes you and elevates you to do better. Like if you are there just kind of like for staying in shape, I guess, and not really serious, you look kind of funny, because these guys are training for a fight. These are serious fighters. And when I was there, I looked so goofy. I looked so out of place, is what I'll say. Like in that moment, my competitive side of me just kind of came back to life. Because growing up, I've always been super competitive. I have a younger brother who's like a year and a half younger than me, but we played a lot of the same sports growing up: soccer, ice hockey, and just a few others. And we've always been competitive with each other, and especially with my friends who are also multi-sport athletes. I've always had competition in my life. But then going into college, I didn't have that anymore. There weren't as many sports opportunities, and that part of me sort of died. So going to Thailand again and seeing all these amazing fighters and how they were training religiously, it lit that kind of fire in me again. And I've made the decision to have my first fight in Bangkok. Regardless of, even if the Thais started before me and I'm still not very good, I want to do it. And it's not because of like, oh, I want to win my first fight and then just, brag about it. It's more, I did some journaling and I found it's more of self-confidence. And a lot of it is because of that competitive edge. I would like to have something to work towards. It helps me feel purposeful instead of just floating through life, right? It gives me something to constantly work towards. And for confidence, just having the ability to protect myself and those around me gives me confidence. But also dedicating myself to one goal, which is be a fight, and showing up consistently to train. They train twice a day, like 5 times a week. And if I can do that, really push my limits, build up my discipline, resilience, and grit, that would give me confidence in the character I've become. Whether I win or lose the fight, the training and what I accomplish during that time leading up to the fight will stick with me. And that's why I want to train for my first fight. It's not like, it may seem kind of stupid, right? I'm training Muay Thai and putting myself in danger for self-confidence, but I think it's a really great way to test myself. I love the competitive aspect. I love combat sports now that I've been introduced to ONE FC. It's been like all I've been watching. I watch so many reels on Instagram that are like, oh, how to throw a roundhouse kick, Muay Thai combinations, and all these sort of stuff. And I save all the videos because I love it. I'm genuinely interested in it. And even if I go in and lose every fight, it'll be better than me going through life with the thought of, oh, I don't even stand a chance, so I'm never gonna try. At least if I lose all the fights, I would have put in the work, I would have put in the effort and known that I did my best. And that for me would be good enough. That would be infinitely more beneficial to me than just rejecting myself and never giving it a chance in the first place. Even if I'm starting at like 21 years old. But who knows? Maybe I could achieve something great. Maybe I'll go to ONE FC. That would be insane. Yeah, so that's kind of why I started this series. It's to train for my first Muay Thai fight. I'm in upstate New York right now. I am here because my parents wanted me to come back because I'm on a gap semester right now. It was to focus on my entrepreneurial stuff and make money. So I can get a part-time job in the US, and that's why they wanted me to come here. But recently I found that it may be more beneficial for me to go back to Thailand. One, because I can do the online business from anywhere. but I convinced them that fighting is something that I really, really want to do. And I see this as an investment and not an expense. Even though I'll lose out on some part-time job money, I think the experience I will gain from training for my first fight, having my first fight and all that will be infinitely more, I keep saying infinite, I've said that already before, but will be so much more beneficial to me and to my personal growth. So I had a kind of a Google Meet with them yesterday, and I went through a slide deck that I prepared. It was about a proposal that I made about my financial plan, how I'm gonna pay for everything, and plan for the future when it comes to academics, and then what I am going to do with my time and how I'm going to utilize it effectively to get the most out of my gap semester and time in Thailand. So they fortunately said yes after some convincing. They didn't really like my proposal, but after some convincing, I got the okay, and I will be leaving in 2 weeks. So it's really happening, and I'm super excited. There are going to be a lot of roadblocks. I think it's one step at a time. It took us a bit to first convince them to get me to go to Thailand, or convince them that I can go to Thailand, because my dad lives in Thailand, so I would have to live with them. So I would need to convince him to why going to Thailand is smart, because there were some comments on my TikTok or Instagram reels that were like, "You're an adult, man. If you want to do that, you just leave, all right? Grow up." And I was like, yeah, it makes sense, but I don't have to pay for rent or housing or anything because my dad lives in Thailand, so I'm gonna take advantage of that. And why not talk to him about it? Okay, so getting to Thailand, checked off. I'm probably gonna buy my flight today. The next part though, getting them to agree to allow me to fight, because they are completely against it. You know, it's dangerous, but that is another thing I'm still working on. So I'll give it a few more days or a few more weeks when we're in Thailand, and we'll talk about it again. So that's something that I need to talk about. So my plans for the future. I'm gonna be leaving for Bangkok in March, I think second week of March. And I found a gym already that I want to go to, but first I'm going to test it out. I'm going to go there for one day, see how it is, test out some other gyms, because once you go to a Muay Thai gym, you tell them you're going to compete, you're going to represent that gym, and it's more of a, when you're building up your career too, you want to stay loyal to the gym. You want to find a gym that really cares about your personal growth, because you'll also be representing them, you'll be with them pretty much every day, and it is a loyalty thing. So finding the right gym is important. So I'm gonna go through a few gyms in Bangkok before I settle in on one of them, but there is one that I'm really keen on joining. But anyway, I'm gonna train there, and then I'm going to compete hopefully in June. I think 2 weeks, around an 8-week kind of fight camp regimen should be enough to prepare for my first fight. That's usually what a lot of gyms do. They have you go through 8 weeks with a specific gym until they say yes, you are ready to fight. That way you don't go in and just die or hurt someone else, right? You got to learn the techniques, get your cardio up, and all that good stuff. So when I get to Thailand, that's what I'll be doing immediately so that I can fight in June. And then during this time, I'm not only going to be fighting and focusing on that, I'm going to be growing my online business, because that's what the gap semester was the point of. So I'm going to be making a lot of content and still working on making my fitness business work. For those who don't know, I'm running an online fitness coaching business. Yeah, it's not really a business, it's just something I'm doing, but it's been pretty good. I've got some good case studies, so I'm just really working on growing that. And then I plan on going back to school in the fall, so I'll leave at the end of August and then start school in September. And that is kind of the plan. Focus on training, fighting, make time for friends and family, and also have time for content, working on my business, and enjoy life. That's it. And then, you know, I'll go back to school in August or September. But I will not be coming back to the US for at least a year. Like, there's no point for me to come back. So I'm selling a lot of my stuff right now. I don't need it anymore. It is funny how I am selling all my stuff, because this is where I grew up. I grew up from like 0 to 18 or 19 years old in this house, or not in this house, but in Ithaca, New York. And I have a lot of stuff from my childhood, but it's not that sad for me because I'm excited for the future. But that's pretty much it. This is the first video. I know it was super long. That's what these videos are gonna be like. I'm warning you, they're gonna be long. I'm just gonna be talking the entire time, but I'm really gonna share the raw, authentic journey and kind of what other people don't show happens behind the scenes. So if you're interested in that, be sure to subscribe. That's all. I'll see you in episode 2, I guess. Later.